Hello, and a very, very warm welcome to this RIDI Roundtable. I'm Jane Hatton, and I run Even Break, but in another life, I'm also chair of the judging panel for the RIDI Awards. So for those of you who don't know about the RIDI Awards, these have been going for some years now, and they're designed to celebrate and share good practice within the recruitment industry, particularly around disability inclusion. So we're going to be doing a number of roundtables, all based on different categories that are in the awards every year, and exploring with the winners of those awards and sometimes with their clients, how this has worked for them, what they did, what the good practice was that maybe we can all learn from. And so the whole point of it really is that we can all share best practice and learn from each other. So I'm thrilled today to be joined by Adam and Atif from Diversity and Ability, who are the winners of the Disability Specialist category, and Helen, who is one of their clients. So I'm just going to ask you each to introduce yourself. Adam, can I go to you first?
Yeah, hi Jane, my name is Adam Highland, and I am one of the co-founders of Diversity and Ability, and I'm the Director of Accessibility and Inclusion.
You and Atif?
Yeah, hello everybody, and hello everyone watching. My name's Atif Chowdhury, and I'm also one of the co-founders of DNA, Diversity and Ability, and I'm the Chief Executive.
And Helen, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Helen Kine. I work for Utilita Energy, which is a gas and electric company specialising in prepayment meters, and we have a business relationship with Diversity and Ability.
Thanks very much. So we're really all here today to highlight the Disability Specialist category from the RIDI Awards. And this category was introduced in 2018, and previous winners include Clarity and Company and Plus. And this year, with lots of strong competition from employability, from mentoring circles, Ambitious About Autism and Cafe Leap, it was Diversity and Ability that impressed our judges the most. I work with Diversity and Ability, but I just chaired it. I didn't have any influence over who I just want to make that absolutely clear. No favoritism here. So I think just first of all, it would be really interesting to hear a little bit about the background of the Diversity and Ability journey. So Adam, Atif, who would like to kick that one off?
I'm happy to say a little bit, and I think Adam, you should definitely jump in. So DNA was formed 10 years ago. I guess Adam would illustrate that more, but when we met, it was to set up more, the power of lived experiences. My role, I'd worked previously as an assistive technology trainer and found that most people weren't really participating much in the support. Our biggest thing was to say, look, how do we change that? How do we make sure that people understand inclusion, equality support, assistive technology training? And the key thing was it wasn't relevant enough. Not enough people with lived experiences were really showing how things worked or why this inclusion matters. It seems obvious, really, when we think about it, but it wasn't happening. So our challenge was, can we get more disabled students? At that time, it was focused entirely about students, and then later on in the workplace. Can we get more students involved in teaching other students to deal with some of the emotional barriers that prevent people from getting involved? It grew from there as a social enterprise, and Adam at that time was the head of the NUS for disabled students. So it seemed like a natural fit when we came together. But Adam, do you want to chuck in anything there I missed?
Yeah, I guess we did start off in higher education, looking at inclusion, looking at how that lived experience really needs to be the driver to inform what inclusion looks like. And as we've grown and continue to make a wide impact, we've been working in the workplace now for about 4 years, I think, and I guess we were able to use our lived experience and the concept of authentic inclusion in the workplace, because one of the fundamental principles DNA is based on is that when you get authentic conclusion right, it doesn't just affect a handful of people, it can affect a majority of people. And we've now been working with many different organizations supporting recruitment, supporting not just recruiting talent that might have been not tapped into due to barriers around recruitment, but also enabling organizations to create that workplace where we retain talent, and it's not just about surviving in the workplace, it's about thriving in the workplace. So it's been an exciting and interesting journey for DNA.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that the judges loved about you, amongst many others, was the fact that it is driven by lived experience. And how many of your team have lived experience of disability? Is it 80% or something?
It's 85% of our team self-define as neurodiverse or a disabled person. And we now have a team of 155 people, which is just amazing.
It is. And I mean, that learning, that I think that whole thing about, nothing without us about us is really coming to life now, isn't it? There was a time when it was all non-disabled people talking to other non-disabled people about what disabled people need. And I think what DNA are doing are actually turning that on its head finally, and much needed. So tell me a little bit about, what the support that you offer. What kind of support do you offer to employers? And has that changed during the pandemic? I mean, most things have changed during the pandemic, haven't they? But have you noticed that the support that you've been asked for is different, during the pandemic to what it was before? But tell us what it was originally, first of all.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
So we offer quite a wide range of different services to organizations and employers. We offer consultancy around recruitment. So we look at recruitment processes and policies and recommendations to really unlock a pool of talent have been stopped from accessing employment, all the way through to looking at how organizations communicate. Do they welcome diversity? Are they sending the messages out to people that we are an inclusive employer, we are an inclusive organization, and we want diverse talent? All the way through to providing training on understanding inclusion, how to create inclusive workplaces, how to enable people to reach their potential. And I guess finally we also look at the physical environment and all the physical offices and premises to make sure that not only can we have an inclusive culture and a welcome that is inclusive school, but we also have that physical environment ready to embrace diversity.
So it's very much around the social model, isn't it? Really identifying the barriers that might be placed in the recruitment process or in employment practices generally, and removing those barriers so that people can participate. And as you say, that benefits everybody, doesn't it? Not just disabled candidates or employees. And the team, has it changed during the pandemic, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's a really powerful question because it feels so pertinent right now. But I wonder if it has changed. And this might be interesting to people to think about. But the relevance of participation in COVID has really brought so much to a fray, right? To say, look, how many people are working at home that need their assistive technology or need their access to work programs to be measured there? What is that home working saying in terms of people's mental health ability to cope and feel connected and supported? And how reactive are we as a workplace culture or a country in the workplace. And then you can sort of say, well, the disability employment gap for many people watching this may or may not know, but it's at 36%. It can't be met in this lifetime at the speed of its movement, which is too slow. And yet COVID comes along, and we've seen in 2020 says so many people could have been working at home have to be working at home. So many people in a lockdown with children need that flexible participation, that support, and organizations, we're bending with it. The ones we should be talking about, the good ones we should be celebrating, they're bending with it where they can because we're in it. But we've been in it forever. Disabled people could be working from home and needing to support their children in 2017, 2016, 2012 as much as 2020. And what COVID has done, I guess, is said, look, this matters a lot. And for DNA, I guess we're saying is, look, it's always mattered. And if COVID is what it takes to see the wonder of what inclusion can do, then we'll get through this. But it's scary stuff. So, but it's hard to have a diversity inclusion agenda if you haven't got a disability inclusion agenda. I defy any cool to say that they've got one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And often people talk about race and gender and LGBTQ+, which are equally as important. But if you don't include disability,
absolutely.
I wonder if some of the silver linings of this horrific pandemic, and nobody would have wished it on us, and it's been absolutely devastating. But I think there are some silver linings in terms of, as you say, Atif, people working from home becoming much more commonplace, as opposed to be seen as a legal requirement, as a reasonable adjustment for a disabled person. And maybe lots of people re-examining how they work, employers looking at ways of working, different ways of working that could be equally, if not more productive as a whole. And I know that you've helped Utilita in lots of ways. And I wondered, Helen, if we could come to you, and maybe you could tell us a bit about how diversity and ability have helped your organisation, because that's been ongoing, I think, for a while, hasn't it? And they've been offering quite a range of services to your organisation.
They have, yeah. They've been a delight to work with. But just touching on that previous point, I think the pandemic has made us be reactive and adapt quickly on, the changes that we are in worldwide. And with the recruitment side of things, we have adapted as well. We've moved to all our interviews to be done virtually. And we didn't just do that because of COVID. We were slowly given the options to interviewees if they wanted to do it virtual before we were all into lockdown. And we are recruiting staff to work permanently from home. So they've got work for home contracts. So there's that inclusion there as well. And all beautifully guided by DNA, I must say. But, there's a key recruitment strategy this year out of the back of Adam and his team's training that he's been doing for the last coming up to 2 years now, which is, Utilita want to offer a platform that's accessible to all. That is the strategy of this year. And the DNA team will be reviewing our material, our website, the collaterals that we have, and evaluate everything and see what we can improve on. And this formed all part of a 2-year plan that Adam and I, along with our director of HR, sat down last year and worked out what do we want to gain? Like, what does Utilita want to gain from this? And, you've got staff members that came out of the training course that Adam and his team gave, so emotionally, invested, but also, from a company perspective, we just say we want to change. We shouldn't have to need to make this change, but we want the best practice from the offset. So we started with, I manage Utilita's energy hubs across the UK. So we started on that area first. So we asked Adam to come and see our energy hub. It was a new area for us at the time, and we wanted to do it very good from the beginning. So Adam came and visited. We asked for his recommendations, his advice on what we were currently doing and what we could do to improve. And we have made small changes, but I was glad to say Adam was quite impressed and happy with what we had originally. And then we said that we wanted all our staff to be disability confident. it can be a subject that people they can be quite shy on, and they're scared to communicate about it, when actually you flip the coin, you shouldn't be scared about it. Let's talk about it freely. Why shouldn't we? It's a passion of mine, and it's a very I love this relationship that we've got, and I always want to get people to see what we see and what DNA see. So yeah, we had that area of it, and then we started looking at a 2-year plan where we could roll out this training course to all other areas of the business, and for Utilita to become an inclusive company. So we started off looking at our door-to-door agents. So we still have door-to-door agents that go into customers' home on a daily basis. We have engineers that go to customers' doors, and with disability, some can be visual, but some may not be visual as well. So it's looking at having those conversations to try and see what we can do to help. And Adam and his team reviewed our scripting and even looked at the diction to see if what can we do to be more inclusive on that as well. And it's little things that make a massive difference. And we're 1 year into our 2-year plan, and it has been delayed slightly, obviously just to adapt to our classroom training to virtual training, but we've still gone ahead and done it, and it's exciting to have that rolled out to all areas of the business, and also to look after our staff as well. If we really look after our staff as well, they will stay there for longer. You get a lot, with call center, you can have quite a high churn. We're pleased to say that it's been quite steady, and we've looked after our staff last year. And yeah, I can't sing DNA's praises a lot. And when I heard that they won the Greatest Impact Award, I was so thrilled for them, but I also wasn't surprised at the same time, because I will never forget going into that first initial training. And we can all admit, sometimes you go into a training set up by the business and you think, oh, just another training, of course. But I came out so inspired and overwhelmed by what I've learned, and the engagement that you get. It was just outstanding, and I just wanted to change the world. But I think, yeah, it's really important that to educate staff and companies to start breaking down those social barriers, and get best practice. So certain stuff within the hubs now, we do it as normal practice. It shouldn't be a change. So when we do the fit out of a new hub, we make sure we have a DDA toilet. Doesn't mean like if we employed someone that needs it, it's there because we want it to be there, and it will be ready if it does need to be used, not to make those changes at a later date. So it's just changing your perception on it. And I think I'm excited for the next year ahead, and long may it continue.
I mean, that's really interesting, isn't it? And I love the example of putting an accessible toilet in, whether or not it's needed, because at some point it might be. And I know that Atif talks a lot about anticipatory practice. So rather than waiting until something needs to be done, and inevitably things take time, don't they? So something like, putting in an accessible toilet can't necessarily be done overnight. So if you're waiting, who needs it to arrive in the workplace before you try and sort that particular access need out, it's kind of too late. Do you have any other examples? You say there were lots of kind of small things, because I think people listening to this might well be able to take away maybe small things that they can do that will make a difference for them as well.
Yeah, so another little thing that we changed is the hub have a bench which has a tablet on for people to sign up on, and we have grey flooring with white stools. And Adam pointed out, with someone who may be visually impaired, they may not be able to see the stools because the colours may merge together. And a simple fix like that, we got bright yellow, sunshine yellow stools and replaced all the white ones. And it's just these little bits of advice and recommendations go a long way. And Adam also mentioned about having 2-tier, like high-tiered tables. So if someone came in with a wheelchair, they can go straight up to the table and then we can sit down with them, because we were adopting little coffee tables which may not be as inclusive. Yeah, so it's little things like that. And it's the back of house area, although customers don't go at the back of house area, Adam still gave us feedback on what things we should look out for, you know, with the doors. You know, sometimes you get the door stoppers, it could impact a wheel, so try and get the hook and the hooks at the back of the door, so there's no barrier there as well. So it is little things, but it does go a long way. And one of the other things that, well, it's actually a big task, but we are looking into it, is utilities bills and letters are on white paper with black writing. We're looking at buff paper, which is obviously better for people who may have dyslexia or, you know, again, visual impairment. A little change like that is massive to people, and it's just, yeah, we should be putting it on buff paper, and that should be the norm for us moving forward. And hopefully once we get everything approved, it will be. And the tablets, again, we should have a color corrector on one of them to be able to, you know, cater for everyone. And I know Adam's been doing a lot of work recently as part of the 2-year plan with our marketing team to change the website and look at different IT functions to amend the colouring of it, and to take away certain functions of the website, so it's not impacting on them when they go to visit. So yeah, it's an eye-opener, but it's exciting. And yeah,
and I think little things like that, you say they're little things, but to the customer who couldn't get into the hub before, or felt that they were being a nuisance because the hub just wasn't developed for people like them, it's massive, isn't it? Because it's one of the few interactions that they get during the day that they can just begin to take for granted and not have to stress about before they go. So that's your kind of customer facing actions. What about your sort of things in terms of recruitment and looking after staff? Are the things that you've changed, say, in your recruitment process?
Yeah, so so we've obviously changed. So before COVID, we were given more of a flexible approach of how to interview. So we were offering virtual interviews prior to COVID, but we have moved solely to virtual now. But we have, you know, with working from home now, we've realised how important it is. And, you know, we have different contracts where we might have to be flexible more so on the hours and everything to cater for, like you say, childcare or whatnot. But we're employing staff now permanently to work from home and giving them the functions to be able to. So, you know, they don't always need to come into the office. And although I miss the face-to-face interaction for people because I'm such a people person, but to have that choice, I would say, that you can work from home and be equally as productive is really important. We do a lot of wellbeing sessions as well. So for people working from home, I think that's really important, just checking in and making sure everyone's all right, especially people who are on their own. You know, out of the back of the training that Adam has done, we've incorporated some elements that he taught us for our in-house management training. So it's a thing that we call ULDP, and our learning and development team have incorporated the training for all our new managers that come on board, you know, to have best practice from the beginning. And I know recruitment have got it's a big topic this year to review everything, and our group recruitment manager was in the training with Adam, and he's taken a lot of stuff on board to completely review the recruitment process. It's a hot topic for this year.
Well, that's exciting, isn't it? Because it's all sustainable. I mean, was that your aim, Adam, that you weren't just going to go in and say, yeah, you can do this, but actually it puts them on the footing to become more and more inclusive as time goes on?
Absolutely, and what you did was what I needed to start with the customer facing style. We also started to redundancy with all the HR teams.
Yeah.
So we could train HR teams and advisors to be able to understand what reasonable adjustments are, what different kinds of reasonable adjustments can be made.
Yeah.
Quite like you said already, offering virtual interviews wasn't a COVID initiative for you to do it. It was an initiative before COVID because it was the right thing to do, offer that choice to people. And not only that, so all the HR teams have received some training. They know what reasonable adjustments are and what can be made. And as Helen said, it's making sure that not only can we recruit people in an inclusive way, it's about making sure we have a culture that welcomes people and people can stay longer and reach their potential. And things like offering well-being sessions is just one way of ensuring that staff can continue to be part of the team, continue to feel welcome and valued. And I have to say, I remember one particular moment when we're looking at reasonable adjustments. There was one manager that by the time we finished the session, had already ordered buff colour paper. And just that culture and just that organisation-wide approach sends signals out to prospective employees and says, mean this, and we mean it in an authentic way. And Jane, I don't need to tell you the biggest barrier to people applying for jobs is not knowing whether the organisation is going to take my diversity, my needs seriously.
Definitely.
One thing that you two have done, just so well is making sure that culture just beams out, whether it's staff or whatever activity it is. We're shining inclusion in whatever we do.
Absolutely. And Helen, you were saying that, the training, sometimes, people will go to training that's put on by an organisation and think, oh, here we go, I've got more interesting things to do. How do you feel that Adam has been received in his training? Do you think that the fact that he brings lived experience with him has been a specific bonus compared to, say, other training that you might have had? Or what was it about Adam's training that was so good? We'll pretend he's not here and then he won't get big-headed.
I think it was just the engagement piece. I didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect when I first walked in, but it wasn't that. It wasn't what Adam delivered. It was so, it was just so open and we could all speak freely, but it was a very personal level of, it was quite jokey as well, which I think is important. Definitely. To deliver quite a positive message. But we all had our opinions and we all collaborated together and, everyone's voice was heard. But it was just the way Adam visualizes what a workplace should be and how people should be looked after and included. And it makes you feel a bit lazy about how, people can be quite ignorant in not seeing the bigger picture. And I felt like that a little bit. I thought, these little things probably went a bit unnoticed before the training. And I came out thinking, gosh, I need to change my attitude, even on a personal level as well. And it really, I'll never forget that course. And I love
it. You don't know what you don't know. And actually someone like Adam can tell you what you don't know. And then you think, oh, now I know, I can do something about it.
But, Adam delivers it in such a realistic way and uses scenarios in everyday life to make it, to home in a bit more. But I love hiring new staff for like each hub, and just when the course is booked, I can't wait to hear what they say after. And they all immediately have the same reaction. They thought, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, why haven't we done this before? And they come out with like full of ideas on what stuff to change and do.
That's
and
fantastic.
they all share the same passion. And I think it's equally important to mention, Adam and his team, they all took time to come in to our call center and listen to our calls and actually take time to understand our business as well in order to adapt on. I'm sure you guys will say some changes can't work for all areas of the business or all businesses. We're all in different niches, and they don't take a blanket approach. They take the time to understand our business and build on it and work out what stuff will work well for us. And that 2-year plan was great.
I mean, thanks for that. And of course, because you're so good at DNA, you also won the Greatest Impact Award at the RIDI Awards, which is the kind of the winner of the winners. I mean, all the winners were winners, but I think all that Helen has just told us about, the kind of service that you provide, the way it's provided, the authenticity, the making it real, the offering of quick wins, as well as some of the long-term strategies. I'm sure that's why you won the Greatest Impact Award as well. And just one sentence from both Adam and Atif about what that meant to you to get the Greatest Impact Award as well. Atif, should we go to you first? What did that feel like to get the winner of the winners?
I suppose, I don't know if it's one sentence, but I suppose it's a bit like saying you won an award before, a few years ago, for the disability employment gap. And whilst I'm really excited to get the award, I kept thinking, but we're not trying to employ disabled people. We're trying to employ the right people. And the lived experience makes those experiences the right experience, the right people. So I suppose it's that. And it's just to get people to be humbled when lived experiences are being shared. When you're hearing about recruitment, it's amazing. But when you hear about what's unmasked, when organizations are seeing people come forward and say, hey, I didn't talk about this before, but I feel like I can because I've been to this workshop. Or I've seen you've changed recruitment, but I've been here 12 years and didn't know I could talk about it. But actually, I want to tell you.
Fantastic.
That's everything.
Yeah. Thank you. And Adam, how did you feel when you learnt that you'd won Greatest Impact Award?
I think it was just amazing. And I think for me, it just shows the value of lived experience, and it shows the amazing work that the DNA community are making and will continue to do going forward. And we're just over the moon.
Yes, well, and congratulations again, because I think you were, very well-deserved winners. So thanks very much to the panel, to Adam and Atif and Helen for joining us today. If listeners want to learn any more about the RIDI Awards, don't be put off by the fact that DNA are so brilliant, because we also have categories that include things like, getting started, workplace adjustments, other things as well. So do come and have a look at our website, which is www.ridi.org.uk, and join in the conversation with us. But it's all about sharing good practice, even if it's small good practice or, organisation-wide like at Utilita. So do join the RIDI family and learn more about us. And thanks to the panel, and thanks to the audience for being here.